There is no human model for a perfect golf swing. Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus both achieved greatness, but their swings look entirely different. When you look at most pros, they're going to share most sound fundamentals of a golf swing. This section is going to look at some of the key characteristics of a good fundamental. In Ben Hogan's book, The Modern Fundamentals of Golf, he writes, "All golfers are searching to master the movements that will result in a repeating swing. It is utterly impossible for any golfer to play good golf without a swing that will repeat." It's easy to conclude from reading Hogan's book that one of the key characteristics of a good fundamental is its repeatability. In other words, if there were two methods to swing a golf club, the one that is easiest to repeat is the most fundamentally sound. Another characteristic of a fundamental is that it must adhere to the scientific laws of physics and motion. In other words, widening the gap between your shoulder turn and your hip turn is a fundamental because its correlation to adding distance is scientifically measurable. Another characteristic of a fundamental is that it is observable when you look at the pros play. In other words, if all of the pros are doing it, it's probably a fundamental. And if none of the pros are doing it, it's probably not. There are very few absolute fundamentals. There's not an absolute fundamental grip that everyone should use. But there is an absolute fundamental grip that you should use. But it'll be different from another player. This is why Mr. Hogan says in his book, we are searching for these fundamentals. If all fundamentals were known and absolute, there would be no search. Just like getting your clubs custom fit, you need to get your fundamentals custom fit. Another characteristic of a fundamental is that they tend to be linked to each other. If you change one element of your swing, you may need to change another element as well. For example, the rotational position of your hands on the grip must match the rotational speed of your hands through impact. Now, if you work on changing the rotational speed of your hands, you may need to change your grip as well. One final comment on the fundamentals. You will never learn them all. You will never learn the perfect golf swing. Imagine if there were just 100 fundamentals to a golf swing, and they were like little blocks on a table, and everybody gets to go up and grab an armful of fundamentals. Maybe you were able to have 70 fundamentals in your swing, and the pros have 90. The key to game improvement is to find the correct missing fundamental to work on first. If two people both had 70 fundamentals, they probably have a different 70. And the 71st one that you should work on will be different than the 71st one that the other person works on. Part of the game improvement system is to identify the next best fundamental that you should work on.